Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Predator Pro Billiard Series. We're here in St. Johann in Pongau, Austria, at the Hotel Alpina, Alpendorf. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too bad, you guys. You're listening to Ben Francis on the mic here. We got an epic matchup in round one. Already, these two world beaters about to do battle. Moritz NEUHAUSEN is going to take on Alexa PECELJ, who is going to break the first rack here. They're going to race to 4 best of 3 sets. If it is tied at 3-3 in the third set, we will have a shootout. Alexa to break the opening rack. And he's got the 4-railer down. The 8-ball finds the bottom corner. Maybe consider a bank on the 1-ball, or possibly try to billiard the 10-ball in right away. Early 10s do count, just not on the break shot. They are playing call shot, so you must call every ball pocketed. And I haven't seen him call the bank or the 10, so maybe just a safety here underneath the 4 with the cue ball. And he has called the bank, and I like the safe, but I like the bank even more. I think you got to play this game in an aggressive style, especially when your opponent is as fearsome as the young Moritz. Beautiful opening shot to start this match, right in the middle of the pocket. Perfect position on the 2-ball. All about the 3 to the 4 here, and then the work would seem done. You can see trying to be very precise. The position from the 2 to the red 3-ball next to get back to that purple 4. Certainly not easy from where he's landed on this 2, maybe a little straightish. They are playing on a 30-second shot clock with one 30-second extension per player per rack. Certainly a factor out there, but both players very experienced under the clock. You could see Alexa managed it quite well there, leaving himself plenty of time to shoot the 2 and get what he wanted on the 3. Big shot here. Drawing back, smooth. Very well done. Often a ball in the middle of the table, such as the 7-ball, can pose a problem. But I think with where the 6-ball is, should be okay to play the 7 in the left side. After the green 6. And possibly that corner pocket. It may even pass the 10, as we're going to see him look here, which is definitely handy position to run to that left long rail. Very natural from where he's landed on the 6. Just a little top spin, no siding, I don't think needed. Always nice to avoid the side spin a little bit on this fresh cloth, as deflection will be much higher. Couple of balls over a pocket to open this first rack for Alexa with a break and run. Always nice when the 10's over the hole in the first game and the last game. Great stuff there from the young Serbian to open the first rack. And we are live on Pro Billiard TV on YouTube for free, thanks to Predator and the Pro Billiard series for bringing these amazing events free for your viewing pleasure. A few tables to watch there, a couple with commentary. Make sure you guys share the streams and click the thumbs up there on the bottom of your screen. Goes a long way to help other pool junkies find the stream. And it is winter breaks out here on the Pro Billiard series. So Moritz will stay in his chair for now. Let's see if Alexa can get the four-railer down and maybe a ball on the side. Nothing towards the side. Four-railers get kissed. And the one ball has dressed up for Moritz with the two over the hole next. He'll be thrilled to be getting out of his chair with this look. Maybe just the 6 ball. You could see him take a glance right away. And again, does it pass the 8? Might be the only tough ball. That purple 4 ball is going to open up as soon as he shoots the 1. So maybe all about the 5 to the 6 later on in this rack. If you could find a problem, that might be it. See, Moritz has a little superstition in him because he always puts the chalk on a diamond. Very precise with where he places that chalk, and I wonder if it's maybe just to keep him from thinking about other stuff. We've seen lots of very high-level athletes over the years with little superstitions like that. For any of you tennis fans out there probably remember Rafa Nadal always having the logo on his water bottle very precisely facing a certain direction. Coming around 3 rails here, he drew that one nicely to hold the angle. And again, looking at this 6 ball, I think it passes the 8. And if he needs to look this close, I think it does, because the pocket is going to play a little bit bigger with the new cloth right now on day 1. As we see the tournament progress, the pockets will certainly tighten up. These arc tables are very tight, the corners. And the sides are impossible. So you would never shoot the 6 on the side, I don't think. 8 days of action here in Austria. And he may be contemplating a safety from where he's landed on the 5. He might be too straight in to get anything good on the 6 next. And the way he's looking at it tells me he might just play kind of a stop shot or a 2-inch draw. And now the safety banking the 6, 2 rails under the 7. And maybe trying to draw the cue ball under the 10. Oh, he could really prove me wrong here and just slow roll this cut shot to the side, though. Don't think so. Yeah, okay, so it was 2 rails under the 7 with the cue ball under the 10. He's overran it a little, but he's done well to guarantee containing the 6, which is a big part of that shot. I think the safety is a bonus, but as long as you don't sell out a shot on the 6, it'd be the goal. Alexa with a couple routine safeties here. Maybe bank the 6 to the right long rail. Use the 7-9 for cover. Could play more of a containing shot and bank the 6 down to this other end rail while leaving the cue ball up there. We'll see what he likes. I kind of like the first option. Pays off more. Well, and he found a third option. Thin off the right side. Use the 8 to cover the 6. Use the 10. Try to get the cue ball underneath the 10. He didn't quite get there, but he's got the 6 behind the 8. I think Maurice can see some of the 6, but he can't do much with it. Another safety. Trying to keep the 6 contained on that top rail again. Wow, he's done really well here. If Alexa can see the left edge of this ball, he might consider thinning it, but it's so far away. I think it's probably better to kick at this ball most times. Problem being the 8 ball is a little big to stop the 6 from running down table. He is maybe going to try and thin the left side of this. Very thin to keep it there. He had a thicker contact and he held it behind the 9-7. What a beautiful shot. Tap of the table from Moritz. He knew that was a tricky one from that distance. Alexa putting some early pressure on the young German here. We'll be able to hear from time to time the beeps of the shot clock. I think it was a small factor there. You could hear the beep at 10 seconds. He didn't have a lot of time to measure that one up and really be precise with it. I really love that the shot clock can be a factor like that. Adds another element to the difficulty level of this game, but really makes it easier to watch. Alexa with a big chance to take a 2-0 lead here. See the sponsors on the jersey there. Alexa, Predator Pro, sponsored player. It's a nice smooth cue action. Not too quick. With the take back. Small pause, gets through the ball really nice. And this 10 ball for a 2-0 lead. And he drains it. See all those amazing sponsors on the arena boards there. Shout out to all of them for helping bring this amazing event to Austria. Give all us pool fans something so great to watch. Such a pleasure to be able to chat along while watching these world-class elite players do battle. These two young guns will be on these TV tables many, many times in their career, I'm sure. And we'll get to watch lots of them. Alexa to break rack number 2. Rack number 3, rather, with a 2-0 lead. Well, he hasn't hit it square that time. He's lost the cue ball a little bit. The balls are everywhere. The 9 is going to trickle in. That 4-railer into that bottom left corner seems to be the only sure thing. If it doesn't get kissed. He's got nothing on the 1 here. May have to push to a kick shot, but you hate to do that, knowing that Moritz is very capable. So if he could kick it now, he would. But I don't think so. Not without a lot of right spin and maybe a small masse effect. The bonus is the right spin and the top will kind of take him to the right side of the table towards the 2 ball. If it does work out. Is there a kick safety with the cue ball between the 4 and the 6 to get in behind the 1? Where he's looking now tells me that shot's not on. He's going to push to that shot somewhere else. If he could get between the 4-6 right now, you see what he's looking at here, and kick it safe that way, I think I like that shot. And no, he's decided on the first option here is try to kick this ball in. We see him call it. I don't think it was on. I don't think he could spin that one in. Not without somewhat of a masse effect, and you hate to elevate the back end of the cue there. I feel like that might have been a big moment. A 3-0 lead in a race to 4 is pretty commanding, but from 2-1 and Moritz breaking the next rack, I mean, anybody's set here still. Still a lot of balls on the table to get to there, but everything in the open, you'd have to favor Moritz to work these out. Nothing in the way. We will have another match coming up shortly after this one, scheduled for 9:30 local time. Still more pool to be played today, and then 7 more days of action to come. See, Moritz has that nice smooth cue action as well. Good timing. One thing I've always noticed about Moritz's game, he stays down on the ball really well. You can tell he was trained well. Obviously spent some time with Joshua Filler, but he has a bit of a different style than Filler. A little more deliberate. But one thing you notice with all these really top players is they keep very still over the ball. You watch how little he moves his head through the delivery. Smooth draw this one back for the 7 in the right side, it looks like. It's gripped a lot, and he's going to be shooting it in the corner now, which is okay. It's one thing I notice a lot with new cloths, very grippy for the draw shot. I think we'll see a few players overrun position similar to that in the opening days, maybe in day 1 and day 2, the cloth wears in a little bit. You could see him adjust right away and not overdraw this one. 2-inch draw, very precise in the 8-ball position to get to the 10 here and get himself on the board. Great prize fund here in this Billard Beckmann Men's Open. They had 96 players with 125,000 in the prize fund. The winner of this event gonna take home 37,500 US dollars. See a little glimpse of table one here. The killer. Long way away from this 8-ball. You can follow all the scores, live scores. They're on the Pro Billiard Series website, probilliardseries.com. Under the event tab, you'll find Austria and the men's open draw. You can follow along the scores there. Looks like Joshua up 2-0 in the first set there. Moritz breaking from the side rail. I think we'll see a lot of that. That Middletown break doesn't seem to work too much, but not so sure this has worked great either. Nothing down and shot on the one for Alexa. The break has always been a bit of a mystery here at the Pro Billiard Series. Not sure anybody's ever really figured it out, but that side rail break seems to be the go-to for a couple of reasons. Mainly the hand rack from the referees doesn't always allow those balls to go in the side pocket like we're used to. And so you don't want to break from the middle and just open them wide up and give them a shot on the one. Sometimes better to break from the side rail, try to keep things clustered up a little bit. Maybe leave something long on the one like he did there, but they're trying to make the one in the side on that cut break. See if Moritz can adjust as this match and as the tournament goes on to try to get that one ball going in the side. Alexa hit that shot quite well. I thought he made it, but that's a very good indication of how tight these corner pockets are playing even early on with the new cloth. And a small mistake here from Moritz right away. Missing position on the 2-ball, and now a thin one with the cue ball on the rail. This is tricky to hold position for the 3. I think the cue ball's maybe going into the 3 here. He might have to chance a bump. Take what he can get. Certainly can't elevate the back end of the cue here to do anything else. Oh, I never would have picked him to play safe there, but found a good one. Alexa will need good escape here. I like the side rail escape. I think it pays off more than the end rail. So you could see him glance at that bottom rail, but I don't think it pays off. You can see Moritz waving for the referee. Not to see the hit on the 2, but they are playing all ball fouls. So the referee will need to keep a close eye on this 8-ball. That's a really, really good shot. I almost spoke too soon. Very well done to hit the correct side of that ball and get the separation. Moritz might be able to see this too, but I'm certain he can't cut it in. And this angle tells us he definitely can't cut it in. And look how deep that cue ball is. That view was great. Tell you how tight these corner pockets are. Deep shelf. Tight at the opening. That's the way it should be. Trying to send the 2-ball around safe. I don't think it's got there. Mind you, 9-ball covering the pocket, so I think Alexa's called the combination. There is another shot that he could play with the 2 off the rail, off the 9 in to make the 2. But I think it's the combination here, especially from this kind of distance. I just got to bang this one in and hope he gets something on the 2 next. He did try to wiggle it in off the side rail, off the 9, but he never caught the 9. I don't hate the choice, and only he knew best, but I felt like that was a tall ask from how far away he was. And it wasn't like it paid off huge with getting on the 3. He was pretty close to the 3 with the cue ball there. Moritz judged the slide well there. It's easy to lose that one a little bit and end up underneath the 8-10 if the first rail slides too much, but he judged it well. Not the easiest out here, though. He needs a couple good positional shots. This one. And then something from the 7 to the 8. Deep breath there. Definitely some early nerves from both these players. You can see some pressure out there. A lot of prize money up for grabs, but it's never easy in any tournament, the first match. Just trying to settle into the conditions and settle the nerves. Get the blood flowing. Shot clock running out. He sure used it all there. Surprised to see him come that far across for the 6, because I thought the 7 in the corner to the 8 might be a little easier than the 7 in the side to the 8. To be very precise with position on this brown 7 ball next to get to the 8. You land on the wrong side of the 7, you're in big trouble. Yeah, and you can see he is a little on the wrong side maybe, and possibly taking a bit of distance on this 8 ball next. Side pockets are tricky on these tables as well, so there's no cheating this ball to change the angle. And that's exactly what happened, or the spin really got him, but I think he just tried to pinch the pocket a little bit there to get closer to the 8. And you could see he really wasn't getting anything better on the 8 anyway. So that tells you how off angle he was on that 7. These side pockets are triple tough. I think he's playing the 7 ball here. Off the rail, off the 9. Oh, it looks like it's the 9. He's clipped it in beautifully and nudged the 8 out. It's a great shot that he's found there. Not only to make the combination, but to clip the 8 out. Pretty much guarantees this rack, and he'll be on the hill in the first set after these 3 balls. And I like that he's taking his time here. Easy to rush this one and just think anything on the 8's good enough. But better to take a second. Be sure he comes above the 10. I think that's smart. No reason to risk slow rolling the 7 and have a skid or something funny happen. And his speed control is on point. Straight in on the 10 for a 3-1 lead. The young Serbian on the hill in this first set. And a big shout out to Predator and the Pro Billiard Series. I'm the hugest fan of these events. Feel very honored to be able to sit in the booth with all of you. And I can't thank them enough for everything they do for pool at all levels. You can see there's a women's open that we'll have starting tomorrow and a mixed doubles. But one of my biggest things that I love about Predator is they just really support the junior game as well. They're such big advocates for growing the game, and I think it's so important to grow it from the ground up. And there's quite a few junior superstars in this event that I saw. We'll catch them a little later in the event. For now, Alexa down the middle again. Trying to get that 4-railer. 7 coming around. It's nowhere near. And a shot on the 1 is available. The 8 just about kissed in. Again, how tight are those corner pockets? Look how deep that 8 ball is. So Moritz can cut the 1 in and then maybe play a 2-8 combination. The problem will be the 3 to the 4 later on. That 4 wedged between the 9-5. Good angle there. Great work from the cameraman to show us how that 4 ball will look later on. Maybe it goes without moving anything. First things first. Thin 1 ball. Spins the cue ball over. Quite nice for the 2-8 combination here. See if he plays this with a little bottom spin. He can try to get the 2 to follow in with the 8 while still being on the 3. Or does he touch this one in soft to try to keep the 2 ball there? Looks like it was option A, trying to stun that 2 ball in with the 8. I like that. Sometimes you try to hold that 2 ball there and it goes in anyway, or it ends up so deep in the corner that you can't really navigate getting out of there. I certainly like to try to follow that ball in whenever position on the next ball is available. He has landed a little funny on the 3 though. Maybe just a hair straight. Can he draw back into the 10 ball and then cut the 4 on the side? I'm not sure he can because he's looking on the other side of the 4. I think he stun follows this one in and plays safe from the 4 using the 9 ball. Wow, he's way under hit it. He tried to shoot that cue ball another foot to the left, at least 6 inches to the left. He stunned it and hooked himself. And now if this kick shot doesn't go right, he's going to be facing a 1 set deficit. Did he call the 10? I think he did. What a great shot. The kick safety, beautiful. Really beautiful shot. Judge that so well. That was sweet. The kick and stick, as they like to say. Stuck it perfectly behind that 9. Yeah, I like going this way too. It looks funny, but at least something good can happen. I think going the side rail here, you just kick that ball into the open. I don't know what good can happen here. Maybe the 6 is in the way to go up table, but yeah, I like this way. At least the 4 can get somewhere safe. Maybe the cue ball under the 7. Good things can happen. I feel like this side rail, I can't see anything good happening here unless he makes the ball. But running out of time as well. Only 5 seconds left to pull the trigger here. Easy to drive by it once you run out of time. It never slid. You could see him looking there, I think because of the speed and the elevated with the top spin. Just made it straighten out. But you won't see these players drive by a 1 rail kick too often. He missed it by a lot. A small shake of the head there from Moritz. He landed on the wrong side of that 5 just a little bit, so he had to go forward with the cue ball when he wanted to just stun draw over. Not a problem, though. He's dealt with it fine. The middle table here. From where he pointed, it looks like the 9 will be okay in the side pocket, but I would usually think the corner is a better option on these tight tables. Sides are very tricky. Yeah, nothing to do here but roll this ball in, but he has missed one in this side pocket, so something to think about here. Need chalk for this shot. Yeah, get down and roll it in. Fighting hard in this set. Trailing by 1 rack, and he's going to break. Try to get it to Hill. As mentioned previously, you can follow the scores on ProBilliardSeries.com, but I can give you some scores right now. Looks like a barn burner on table 10. Wojciech and Carl Natterberg all tied up at 3 in the first set. Christian Merva taking the first set versus Jonas Sudo. Max Lechner up a set. Albin Auschen up a set. Snigaki up a set. Ralph Souquet up 1 set over Yannick Pongers. FSR up a set. Felix Vogel, the young German, up 1 set. Konrad Yuzhishin up a set and on the hill in the second set. Robbie Capito up 1 set. Joshua Filler over on table 1. He's up a set. Meanwhile, Moritz breaking from the corner. Let's watch the 1 in that top side pocket. It hit all the horns. But nothing happening on the 1. Look at all those balls line up in a row like that. The 5-4-1-3 just about in a dead line to block the 1. The nice thing with where the 3 went here for Alexa is the push out is quite a bit easier. I think he pushes to the left rail, leaving the bank on the 1 into the top left, while sending the cue ball towards the bottom right corner. You kind of hate to do that, knowing that Moritz will most likely play a good safe, but if you can leave it in a spot where the double kiss is on a little bit, you can trap him into double kissing it, or maybe he gives it back if the double kiss is unavoidable. And I like the distance he's left the cue ball off the rail here. Usually you want to pin it right on the rail, but I think if he pinned it, he might be getting this back and he might not like it. This little bit off the rail, I think, forces Moritz to shoot this ball. Yeah, and he's playing the shot I called, which is into that corner pocket with the bank and the cue ball going long. The nice thing is if he makes the bank, he's going to be close to the 2. But look out. Look out, Moritz. You're safe everywhere but the corner pocket there. That one really got away from him. He contained the 1 ball beautifully. Exactly how he wanted to hit the 1, but the spin on the cue ball let him down a bit. And a chance for Alexa to put the first set on the board here. Looks like the 8 ball might be a little tough later on. Lots of balls to worry about before that, though. And a problem on the first shot. From the ball in hand, he catches the point of the side pocket and hooks himself. These are the kind of mistakes that don't surprise me one bit in the first match on day 1. If this player did this on day 3, in his third match, I'd be very surprised. But the slide of the rail and the speed of the cloth definitely takes some adjusting to. And they can play on the practice table out there, but it doesn't play like the TV table. Picking this one towards the right side pocket. Hoping the 2 goes safe, hoping the cue ball stays by the 10. He hit it so good he almost made it. And look at the reward, the cue ball under the 6. Moritz, top of the table, he knew. That's pretty much what Alexa had in mind, was the cue ball up there. Surprised to see Moritz not go to the jump cue. That tells me maybe the 2 doesn't go in the side that we're closest to, so he needs to kick it. Big shot here. He's hit it really well. What a beautiful shot. That is so well done. I really like that Moritz taps on the table when his opponent plays a good shot. I'm an even bigger fan of his now. Alexa just gets to work, and that's okay too. Two rails trying to come across the top of this, I think. Yeah, like that. And get the cue ball running up table. That's pretty good, but watch out. 2-10 combination. Oh, it's pretty thin to cut the 2. I don't think he can play it. I think he needs to, yeah, maybe play the 2 ball into the bottom left, which is what he's called. I don't hate playing the combination here. Assuming early 10s count. I don't think they do. I think maybe it spots. So if it spots, then there's no value at all in playing the comp. Then definitely cutting this 2 in makes more sense. So he's overcut it by design. Overcut was by design. The cue ball's getting under the 4. Great shot. Might have looked like he missed that cut by a foot, but I think he was always overcutting it and playing safe. I think he called it in case it skidded or something and went in by accident, which is always good. I tell players all the time, just call something in 10 ball. Going anywhere near a pocket. 2 rails in behind this one. Oh, that was about the only thing he couldn't do, was break the 8 as he put it back where it was, though. Moritz quickly looking to see, does the 8-9 combination go? I think maybe the 8 just goes from relatively where the 10 ball is. Oh yeah, for sure it does. Possibly that 8-9 combination available too, so not too much to think about here. Other than the clock running out. Yeah, letting it run down that far. Bit risky, in my opinion. He judges that slide really well on the new cloth. That shot with inside spin on slippery new cloth is very difficult. Way harder than he knew. But you can tell he has plenty of experience in these arena tables. And this is the spot where you start thinking about the 8. They say think 3 balls ahead. Usually the way to play this game. So thinking about the 8, because where he is on the 6 will decide where he gets to the 7, to the 8. Be a little straight on the 6, though. Is this where he wanted to be? And draw off the side rail. I like this because he's coming straight towards the 7. Wrong side. See the shake of the head there. That tells me the 8 probably doesn't go on its own. And he needed to be straight on the 7 in order to get to the left side of the 8. Our left side of the 8 to play the combo. Can he slide by the 10 and then maybe spin the 8 in? Well, he's going to leave it way up there and play the combo. This has gone wrong. The problem with this shot is where is the cue ball and the 8 after? Not to mention where he's pointing, this combo is not wired. He has to cut the 8 sort of to the middle diamond. The ball can turn over a little bit too with how close they are. Yeah, I caught it thick the whole way. Wow, but it slopped in there. I thought it missed the whole time. Well, he judged it well. The speed was great, and he held the 8 over the pocket. He knew it would slip in there. You can feel the tension out there. This opening set, first round, winners round 1. Tensions are high. 10 ball, horse hill. He's got it. Nothing but net. 3-3 in set number 1 here. We'll have a deciding rack. We do have another match coming up right after this one. Looks like they have some table assignments up there, and I think we've got a good one. Coming up on table 2 here. We're gonna have Jason Shaw and Chia Chen. Table 1. I'll have the pleasure of sitting in with George Techea. We'll have Wu Kun Lin taking on Clint Catchy. What a matchup that is. But let's see what happens here. Can Moritz find the 1 ball in the left side pocket? Top side of our screen. It gets kissed right away. I didn't see anything else going. Shot on the 1 for Alexa. Mind you, bit of a long one, or is the 7 in the way here? Well, judging from the body language, he can't see enough to make this ball. Cannot. Contemplating pushing to there. That would seem like a curious choice if he could see any of this 1 ball. Oh, and I don't like that. He's going to push to a really thin cut with the safety. If he pins this cue ball, he's going to get it back. Okay, a little distance off the rail. Moritz might consider shooting it, but I think he gives it back. It's really thin to avoid the scratch. If you catch it even a hair thick, you're going straight in the bottom right corner with the cue ball. But if you catch it thin enough, the 1 is going safe. The cue ball is going safe as well. But yeah, no surprise he gives that one back. So Alexa's called the cut into the bottom left, but the plan here is to overcut this one. Get the cue ball going safe. The 1 can hide behind the 8, the 6, the 4. There's a lot of balls there to block it. Caught it thin enough. No, he didn't. He caught it thin enough to avoid the scratch, but not thin enough to avoid the 7 with the cue ball. Won't be pleased with that effort. But sometimes it's not all about shooting the balls in. Good recognition from Moritz there to hand that one back. Sometimes it's more than just making the balls. It's about the decision making. And it's hard to give it back when the players are so good now. So precise, the equipment's so good. You favored Alexa to come up with a good safe there, but what's happened here? What has happened here, Moritz? You misjudged the slide that time. That inside spin, it doesn't really work with the new cloth too much. It's like a safety here. He's called the cut. But it's more about the cue ball coming around safe here. 2 or 3 rails underneath the 6. This might leak out and leave a jump shot. Possibly a kick, but I think he jumps this one. Cue ball's going to be flying here. This is a thin one. Yeah, he's going to take what he can get. Try to make the jump, send the cue ball around, and hope you can see the 4. I don't think you can be super precise here with spin or something to stay on the 4. Looks like he had maybe the wrong shaft. This is a big factor. Why didn't he have his jump cue out? It's a bit mind-blowing for me at his level to not be ready. I mean, the shot clock's running. See a lot of players nowadays approaching the table with both cues, but they had them out before. They were ready. He still had plenty of time, so nothing. Rush here is going to get over this ball nice and easy. Spins around. He kisses the 9. Well, that's not the worst thing that could happen. He can see all of this 4, and the safety's pretty routine. Could try to really jail him here and draw underneath the 9. If he keeps it close to the 9, escape is going to be very difficult. Looks like he's going to use the 8 ball. Try to bank the 4 across, freeze on the 8. Wow. He has way misjudged that one. That's a big mistake and almost unforgivable at his level. Oh, we'll see if it is forgivable. Can he get back to this table? I'm not sure he can. Ball's in the open here. Everything goes. Moritz maybe only this one tricky shot away. Gains position on the 5. I think he's gonna like how it looks. Oh, and I love how he played that. Rather than just one rail and hold it, he's gone an extra rail. Super bouncy. He got a big bounce there and overran it. Looked like he was gonna be okay at first glance. A really thin one here on the 5, and how does he get position on the 6? Can he draw it to avoid the 8? Spin off a couple of rails? I didn't think so. He went full into the 8. Well, if he can see the side of the 6 that he needs, he can bury the cue ball underneath this 8, 9, and I think he can see that. And Alexa's not going to love his next shot. Even if he can't see that side of it, he can lick the other side of it, put the 6 underneath the 8, 9. Definitely rather bury the cue ball under there, though. Yeah, which he's done. And he's got the 6 a good distance away to make this kick shot very tough. 2 rails needed. At least 2 rails. I suppose the 1 rail is a bit there, just very difficult to judge the bend and the slide off this top rail. Yeah, what about just tying up the ball? What about just pushing the 9 on top of the 8? Yeah, probably the percentage. Well, he's totally misjudged this too. If you're going to do that, you really have to get it right. If you're going to concede the ball in hand, you better get it right. That's 2 or 3 big mistakes near the end of the set. You can see the glove comes off. He's done in this set. He knows. He's let one slip from up 3-1. A couple of big mistakes in this particular game, misjudging the speed a bit. Easy to do on the new cloth on the TV table. You know, it's very easy to misjudge. Moritz had a couple as well that he just completely misjudged the speed and the spin and the slide, and no surprise. But these great players, they'll settle in as the match and as the days go on. Moritz with this routine 10 to steal the first set. We'll see the players take a quick timeout. I'll take a quick timeout myself. Don't go far, everyone. We'll be right back with set number 2. Maxa back in the arena, and Moritz to break rack number 1 in set number 2. Still from the same side. I thought we might consider changing sides, breaking the other side rail. Seeing that the one's getting kissed, nothing's really going in, but the one finds the hole. Persistency is the key. Sometimes can't quit on it right away. You got to give it a few chances. But often not being stubborn and adapting is very important in pool. I think the 2 passes the 10. We saw from previous camera angle. It looked a little close, but I think it's got plenty of room. Bit of distance though, easy to misjudge it. Trying to get the cue ball around. Yeah, you can see from here, maybe half of the pocket, maybe 3/4 of the pocket, but definitely not the whole pocket. And so he'll take a second here, try to figure out what the highest percentage play is, possibly is safe. I think we saw him look at spinning the 2 ball into the 4 and sending the cue ball around safe underneath the 6. Looks like that's what he's attempting. That's really good. Oh, it's not under the 6 though. And is there a gap here? I don't think so. I got excited for a second. Kick bank is what he's called. More about trying to stick the cue ball where the 2 is here. And he'll load this up with some bottom spin, hit it quite firm. Not break speed firm, but firm enough. While jacked up over the 6 makes it way harder. Oh, he stuck the cue ball really nice. And he's got a kiss from the 7 to hold the 2. Beautiful shot. Really beautiful shot. To the table with both cues. He's got a little 2-rail escape here. Maybe some left spin needed. Good things can happen if you hit this 2 though. How's the speed? The speed is good. No, it's not good because he caught the 3rd rail. Caught the 3rd rail. Cue ball hit the 2. Nothing hit a rail after. Must contact a rail after contacting a ball. Yeah, looks like the 4 has plenty of room, as you can see him pointing there. I'm always surprised when a player puts the cue ball there from ball in hand and stretches with a leg in the air. I think could have got a little more comfortable on that one, being that he could put the cue ball anywhere he wanted. Looks like he's overran this a little bit. Can he pinch this 3 in and draw the cue ball over? Look outside pocket. Look outside pocket. He holds his hand up to Moritz because he knows he got away with one there. Not supposed to be that close. Well, and it just made the 4 to the 5 a lot tougher. The cue ball close to the rail, having to jack up like that. Punch this one in a little bit. It's right in the middle of the pocket. It's a good shot. You'd have to think that would be the end of the tough work here if he can just come back and forth with the cue ball out near middle for the 6 ball next. looks good from here. Nothing in the way. The 8 will go in the side pocket after the 7. You see him come over and look. And you never see these really elite players rushing these kind of situations. Definitely being very precise, taking your time, making sure of all the angles, very important. I like keeping it simple here. Roll it or stop it. Shoot the 9 in the bottom left. Don't try to do anything crazy. A little behind that ball, but it wasn't a problem. Worst case, he had a pretty big pocket there to ride it in off the 10, but he rode it in off the side rail instead. Missed to put the first game on the board again. He had a 3-1 lead in the last set before letting it slip away. Let's see if he can right the ship here. Try to win this set, force a decider. If they go to a third set and it ties 3-3 in that third set, that's when we'll see the shootout. Got some stats here, but from a different match. But this is a good one. Look at this. Nicholas Dorr taking out Cledio Caci, 2-0. That's a big upset in the early days. See if we can find out what happened there. By those stats, look like missed balls from young Cledio. Breaks here on the Pro Billiard Series. Alexa switching to the side rail break. I like it. That head-on break has not worked well for him. He's got 2 balls down, but look at the 6 spoil the show. It's always the last rolling ball. Gets in the way. A little bobble of the head there. There's been a lot of push-outs in this match. Nobody really getting a good look at the opening shot. I think he could contemplate kicking this ball in. If it was a little closer to the rail, that top rail, he might consider trying to kick it in, being that position on the 3 is guaranteed, but from this angle we can see that little space off the rail makes the kick too low percentage. Definitely the push out. Where to push, never easy. The one playing the push always at a disadvantage. Usually if you're shooting, you have an advantage, but not in these spots. Try to push somewhere very difficult, but not so difficult that you get it back. So he wants this cue ball real close to the rail. Looks like he's got it. It was not so easy to hold it close to the rail there. But I think Moritz has more than enough of this one ball to bank it sort of between the 6, 8, 10 and keep the cue ball underneath the 5. But the 5 and the 6 will probably play pretty big for the cue ball here. For cover. Assuming you could see enough of that. got to be the shot. Never easy from 9 feet away, though, but he's done really well there. He's got the 1 safe. Looks like 5's got cover. And Alexa to the short cue. Well, this 1 ball's got a big pocket. If it was to bank in that top left, maybe the 3 makes it a bigger pocket. Well, how about in the side pocket off the 4? Nearly went. He'll take that result. I don't think the 1 passes the 3, and even if it does, how do you hold position for the 3 next? So I think maybe a safety from Moritz. He finds these ones really well. He's a very calculated player. He doesn't take too many crazy risks. I think a similar shot with the cue ball underneath the 5 here. Be the goal. But this time, the 10 is blocking the jump. But maybe considering a jump with a kick. That's what he's called here. Oh, I'm not sure I love this. How do you get a rail after if you hit this too full? I think you got to take your lumps and kick to the side rail here. If you hit half of the 1 ball kicking from the side rail, you can get safe a lot of ways. You did get a rail, but where the good news ends. Can we find a problem for Moritz here other than the 1 to the 3? I don't see anything happening. Might be a little on the wrong side of the 1 ball to draw it back. So you may need to punch this 1 in off the side rail with the draw. Shot. So he'll be 2 straight on the 3, which I think he will be. And he changed the angle a little bit with the punch shot. Doesn't need to play the 4 in the side. He could play the 4 in the corner next. Didn't really get all of that. Now the cue ball going towards the 10 and the 8. Not easy to stay on the 5 here. So he plays the corner, which I thought where he landed on the 3, that was going to be the plan anyway, but it's worked out good. A little bit thin on the 5, but it shouldn't be a problem. Again, just a little off angle. This one certainly more manageable. Not completely dialed in on the speed control yet, but I think these players will certainly figure it out as the days go on. Middle of the pocket there. Not much between these players, just as we would expect. Both of these young superstars had lots of great performances last season. And I'm sure they both have great careers ahead of them in this game. Couldn't have timed it better to be in their prime with all the amazing things happening in the pool world these days. Thanks to some great companies like Predator and the Pro Billiard Series and all those great sponsors you see along the arena boards there. Shout out to their pool stat guy, Mike. All these great pool stats. I love this. I think pool's been missing this for a long time. Look at that performance in set 2. 909, both of them. The overall performance from Moritz, just that little bit higher. Always looking at that missed shots category. 2 from Alexa, 1 from Moritz. Kind of the tail of the tape there in set 1. And that safety efficiency from Moritz just a little bit higher. We saw Alexa let a couple safeties slip away. And that break success always a big factor. We'll see how that progresses as the match goes on. And Moritz up quite a lot in the number of balls pocketed category. Staying to this side rail on the left side of our screen here, trying to get the 1 in the right side pocket. Maybe a 4-railer. 4-railer just misses. 1 misses, but nothing easy here. No easy shot on the 1, and 2 balls kind of tied up a little in a cluster there near the rack spot. Just the safety from Alexa here. Off the side of the 1, send the cue ball down table. Has he got enough of it? Oh, he has. Good shot. Contain the 1 nicely there. While also finding cover, Moritz reaching for the short cue. Some sort of jump safety, I believe. Just no easy way to kick and hit the 1, and then how do you find something good to happen? So I like the choice here with the jump cue. He's got the bank into this bottom right corner of our screen. Look, it's going close, but the cue ball flies out of the arena. Referee says, don't worry about that cue ball. We'll get it later. I got another one up my sleeve. Yeah, he did need some power behind that one, but he let it loose a bit more than I would have thought. Never would have imagined him losing the cue ball off the table here from that distance. I think he's played onto this side of the 2 so that he can nudge the 10 a little out of the way of the 5 for later on. But as he nudged the 10 on top of the 6, he nearly created another problem. But all the balls in the open here. And a great chance to regain that small lead. I really love the sets format here. Short race. Anything can happen at any time. You're never really out of it. breaks makes it so you'll always have a chance. Six to the 7 will be the key here. Goes without saying. Angle on the 6 needs to be premium. Looks okay. Stun around the 10, I think. Bit of a punchy stroke, and with this new cloth, it's easy for the cue ball to grip a little bit and kiss the 10 here. Oh, he's dealt with it perfectly. Beautiful shot. Not as easy as he made it look. Watch these great players. They make pool look so easy, but it's anything but that. Such a difficult game. The angle on the 9 looks pretty good. Draw across the top of the 10. The 10 in the same pocket. Next. Don't need chalk when you're rolling them in, right? 2-1, Alexa in set number 2. He needs to win this set and force the deciding third set. You can follow along the scores on ProBilliardSeries.com, but I have a few for you. Some results coming in. Mika van Berkel winning 2-0. Max Lechner 2-0. Matthias Nagaki 2-0. FSR 2-0. Conrad Yushashin 2-0. Robbie Capito with a good win over Petri Makinen 2-0. Josh Filler 2-0. We have some barn burning matches coming up next. Looks like they flip-flop the TV table. Oh, my correction, rather, still the same. Jason Shaw coming up on this table next. But meanwhile, Alexa going back near the middle with the break. Can't decide what's going to work. Looks like the 4-railer will go from that middle break. And he's got a shot on the 1 ball for once. Mind you, nothing ever easy. Look where the 2 balls rested. Well, I thought he was going to shoot it right away. That would have been crazy. Looked like he was winding up to just shoot it right away. This is a tough shot. Draw with lots of right spin to try to spin this cue ball into the 3 or the 2, preferably the 3. The grippy new cloth is working in his favor. This beautiful Predator Reserve cloth, super grippy when it's new. Glides lots, but it grips the draw quite easy, so I think he can get into this one enough. What he's really worried about is not getting it enough. Driving by the top of the 3, he's going to hook himself on the 2. Decided on a safety, but he's made an absolute mess of it. Safetied himself. He fluked the ball, so Moritz will come and have a look just to make sure, but this can be a quick look. And he's going to make Alexa shoot again. Just always got to make sure. pretty obvious choice. I'm sure he knew even from his chair that he wasn't shooting that one. But sometimes there's like a super easy kick safety. You got to go take a look. Alexa was always getting put back in here. If you fluke a ball and you hook yourself, opponent can put you back in. Watch the hit here. Oh, he's hit it full dead on, but it hasn't done any good. Two's laid up straight in. Not much work here. 5 to the 6, connecting nice. All the balls up there. Might be all about this 2 to the 3. I think he's got a little angle to punch into the 9. Should see 2-2 here. Yeah, that didn't hurt putting the 9 up there too. The work at the end of this rack will not involve moving the cue ball too much. Just straight enough to draw this one back. Has to watch his arm and his hand. The 9-8. Playing all ball fouls, of course. Landed good on this 5. Maybe just the stop shot needed. Soft draw, a couple inches. Get a little closer to the 6, never hurts. And you can see how grippy that draw is. As I was mentioning, he barely touched that one. It came back a foot. Love to be straight in on the 7. Stop shot for the 8 the side. As I mentioned, you see how these players, they don't just shoot the 7 and take something good enough on the 8. They're very precise. The next position, the mark of an elite player. A mistake that I make quite often is thinking somewhere over there will be good enough and I'll figure it out. But you could see he was very precise with the position on the 8, and it made getting to the 9 to the 10 a layup. This 10 ball to square it up at 2 here in set number 2. Both players looking like they're starting to settle in a little bit more. And I can tell you all the next match on this table. Chia Chen taking on Jason Shaw. Over on table 1, where I'll have the pleasure of sitting in with Mr. George Techea, we'll have a barn burner over there, which I'm really looking forward to. Wu Kun Lin, one of my favorite players to watch, taking on Eklent Kachi, who is always exciting. Have that scheduled for 9:30 local time, but we'll see how this progresses. If Alexa wins this set, it'll be a little later, 9:30. And that's at 9:30 Mountain Time. I'm looking at the bracket wrong. It's showing me my local time, but that'll be 5:30. Rather, in Austria. See the break shot, still a mystery. I think we'll see a lot of that in this event. A couple players seem to have it figured out a touch better. Josh Filler, Feder Gorst seem to have this break shot figured out a little more. Filler in particular. push-outs so far, and Alexa's pushed out to an interesting one here. The kick safety, but it's not easy. I think he knows that the 3 can find cover, or possibly the 7. I think Moritz gives this one back. Yeah, I don't think it's high enough percentage for him to shoot it. But I'm not sure Alexa could have done anything better. Really difficult to play a good push out at this level. Players are so good. Not only the players are so good, but the equipment is so good now that you can slow roll these balls. Not have to worry about them rolling out. There's no skids happening with the quality of the cloth and the balls and the chalk even that everybody's using nowadays. Of course, the cues, the Revo not deflecting. Yeah, under the 7 with the cue ball there. That's well done. I'm not surprised to see Moritz give it back, but I'm sure he knew that a lot of times he wasn't going to love his next shot. Just kind of had no choice. Got to play the percentages. Percentage there probably told him, you know, about 40% of the time this was going to happen. 60% he was going to be able to see the ball. He's gone to the jump cue here. He needs to watch the cue ball doesn't leave the table again. Let's see where he's pointed. Wants the 1 near the 8. He wants the cue ball under the 3. I think he's called the 4 just in case. That's pretty good. Might not work out, but that was a pretty good effort. He got the balls headed in the direction he wanted them, at least. Pretty long and straight in for Alexa, but he's dealt with it nicely. Took what he could get on the 2 ball. If he can get some kind of position on the 3, I think I like his chances here. This is a very tough shot, though. Hear that shot clock. It's a real factor out there. Both these players very good at managing it. Plenty of experience, but those beeps can get you. Definitely puts the pressure on. Cross for the 4 in the side. He's landed exactly where he needed to be. With the 8 leading to the 9, I think we're going to see Alexa on the hill here, barring some kind of big mental error. I would love to see him force a 3rd set. After the way this match has gone, I feel like he let the 1st set slip a little bit, and I feel like he maybe deserves this 2nd set. Played a really nice 1st set. Just a couple small errors near the end. But nothing, you know, crazy out of the ordinary, being that it was the 1st match and on the TV table. I'd love to be close to straight in on the 8 ball next. Just cannot land on the wrong side of it, which I think would be difficult from here. He'd have to really pinch this and hold it. So just a little bounce out, coming towards middle table. Looks exact to me. And this 10 ball to get him on the hill here in set number 2. Alexa, looking good out there. Doing everything he needs to do to put the pressure on Maurice. One of my absolute favorite things about pool is how international this game is. I'm sure a lot of you are out there watching the World Cup this week. So many amazing different countries that I've never heard of playing football there. But that's one thing I've really loved about pool. So many different people from all walks of life, all over the planet. So many different countries representing at every event. As we see Wuku and Lin warming up over there, getting ready to do battle with Eklent Kachi in a little over 20 minutes time on table 1. Meanwhile, Alexa to break, try to force a third set here. Look out, cue ball. Drink. Use the 8 to tie up here, and it has. Nothing easy for Maurice. The 1 to the 2. Not so bad from ball in hand, but I think he'll need to take a thin cut on the 2. Might not be so easy to get to the 3. But what else do you do? Somewhere near middle table with the cue ball here. Draw this one back smooth. Could consider a safety on the 2. Not sure it's so easy from here, but well, nothing's easy from here. I don't know he can hold this cue ball off the second rail to stay on the 3. Can he come back and forth a couple times? While avoiding the 8 and the 9 and the 4. Tough shot. Big pressure here trying to avoid the third set. Yeah. Probably easy to miss that ball. Trying to hold the cue ball there. That's often when we see the miss come in. Is when they're trying to hold the cue ball. If they can let the cue ball go a little bit, they never miss that shot. That little deceleration in the stroke kind of makes that one missable. Great chance for Alexa. Try to get this second set on the board here. Needs to figure out something to do with that 8 later on, but there's lots of work first. But now's a good time to make a plan. With all the balls in the open here, that's the only thing to worry about. I think a lot of times these players would love to find an angle on that tied up ball to play safe. Breaking it out is risky. The safety tends to be the higher percentage. Well, he's a little straight on the 4, which means he'll be shooting the 5 off the rail. The ball's going to be near the rail when he shoots the orange 5 next. Not sure he can punch this one out. To get it off the rail a bit. Into these tight corner pockets, I don't think you can risk it. Well, he did cheat it a little bit. More than I thought he would try. This little bit of distance off the rail makes a big difference. If he can land where he's pointing here on the 6, he'll consider playing the 6 while bumping the 9-8 into the free. Staying on the 7. Tough to be so precise to land there on the 6, though. That's going to overrun by quite a bit. And I don't see an easy safe on the 8. Consider banking it. That would be brave. First things first. 6 and the 7 be pocketed. Not sure he could find any angle on the 7 to try to break out the 8. At least not from here. Let's see. Wu Kunlin. Taking a glance here. Needed the left spin. Got it. That was not an easy shot to control like that. And now he could really consider drawing into this. He really could consider it. I think he's just straight enough. And the cue ball going a little to the left helps. The thing that's not helping him is the extension on the back of the cue there. Makes drawing this ball precisely much tougher. He's going to just take something underneath and play safe. Oh, he went forward with the cue ball around the rails. Look out. No way. It's about the only thing he couldn't do was give Moritz ball in hand with now a pretty easy safe, I think. Or maybe the 8 even goes. Oh, look at this. He's going to play it. It goes. No, safety all the way. Sometimes these players will trick you. They call something like that. It's more of a just in case. Maybe it skids. Maybe something funny happens. Catches a piece of chalk in the middle of the table. Hops up in the air and finds the pocket. Not that time. 2-rail escape here for Alexa. Favor him to hit this ball, but he's kind of kicking the 8 into the open. I don't know anything good can happen here. Got to hit with some speed, maybe. Oh, this is really well done. That's really well done. It's about as good as he could hope for. You'd love the cue ball to be up table a little bit more. Yeah, you see Moritz tap the table there. He knows. That was a good shot. It's well done from where he was. FSR come in for a look, sitting in the crowd there. Safety from Moritz. Is it going to get there? I don't think it is. Great camera view. I think, has it just crept there? It maybe has because Alexa has the short cue out. It just crept there. Can he spin it? Looks like maybe he could just spin it in. Well, he had the safe, and look how good he's hit this ball. What a shot. What a shot from where he was. And if this doesn't go right for Moritz, we could be seeing a third set. But this is a good chance to get a kick safe here. The 8 towards the right side, and the cue ball kind of goes natural towards the 9, I think. So the cue ball didn't move, but he's got the speed on the 8. Pretty good to contain the 8. A couple beautiful shots here from these young players, showing us the kick safety knowledge. Well, he's decided it's time to go. He's going to try to bank this one in. Shot clock running out. Big shot. There's always a bit of a two-way there, but he's completely misjudged the speed. This cue ball comes naturally across to the other side rail for the 9-ball next. Should be hill here in set number 2. Absolutely nothing separating these two players. Giving the crowd what they came to see here in round 1. Not a big crowd filled in there yet, but you can see there's lots of seats. So if anybody's in the area, certainly worth going and checking out. Free to watch in person, of course, and on YouTube free as well. I know if I was in the area, I'd be right there. Nothing like watching these players up close. Was a little short here, but it's okay. Pockets are still playing a little bit forgiving on day 1 here with a new clot, so he can slip this one in off the side rail. He's got it right in the middle of the pocket. 3-3 in set number 2. It's a barn burner over here on table 2. Ooh, a little warning from the referee here for Alexa. And he says, fair enough. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I did notice a little bit. When the cue ball was scratching, he forced it in with his cue. Referees never like that kind of stuff. No harm. I thought it was kind of harmless, but doesn't hurt to have a little warning just to make sure nothing like that happens again. Beautiful stats here, thanks to Mike. A cool stat guy. Balls pocketed per inning, 1.9 to 1.6. That's a good stat. That's a good stat. Always loved the stat from the perfect Carlo match. He ran the whole set of 8-ball, 8 racks of 8-ball. And so you'd think the balls pocketed per inning would be 8. It wasn't. It was more because he was making balls on the break. It was like 8.4. Okay, let's watch the 1. Straight in the side pocket this time. What's the 2-ball doing? It's getting blocked by everything. I think the 7's got it totally covered. Camera can be a little deceiving there where it looks like the edge, but I don't think so. And you can see him point at the push out right away. Never easy pushing out. Always at a disadvantage, I feel, the player that's playing the push. And I like this. Usually I'm a big fan of pinning that cue ball right on the rail, but often in this spot you're going to get it back and you don't want it back. So leaving a little distance kind of forces the player to take it on. And this is not easy. There's nothing easy here with the safe. Banking the 2, trying to hold under the 4. Very difficult. Double kisses there. The double kiss is certainly on. Could go the other side of the ball, but then you kind of put the 2 close to the top left corner. You don't want to do that. I don't hate him handing it back. Yeah, exactly. The more I thought about it, the more I thought, I don't see anything high percentage. You should probably give this one back. Good choice, I think. lot of times making your opponent do something under pressure is always a good choice. Certainly lots of pressure out there for both players, but Moritz want to get the job done right now. Doesn't want to see a third set here. Well, I never really saw that as an option, but how good did he play that? That bare ball safety like that is so hard. Let alone from 9 feet away. How good was that? So Alexa has this kick off the side rail, send the 2 towards the right side pocket. It's got a bit of a big hole there. Could go in off the 8, but it's mostly about trying to keep the cue ball underneath the 4 here. Yeah, well, and the cue ball on the end rail is not the worst thing to happen. Nothing easy here for Moritz. Does the 2 pass the 8? Well, he hasn't looked at anything offensive, so I think it's defense here again. And Moritz, a very careful player from what I've seen, but I've seen this a lot from the top end players. More and more defense all the time. I think seeing the value of the percentage play. Oh, there was a gap there. There's always a gap. How was there a little window between those balls? We'll never know. Unbelievable luck from Moritz to leave that. Can he see enough of this to play safe again? It's not easy from here. Trying to hold under the 9. Wow, beautiful shot again. A tap on the table from Alexa that time. He knows that was a tricky one to get right. With the clock running down, is it going to creep behind the 9 with the spin? No, it doesn't. But it looks like the 2 is safe. It looks like the 2 is just safe enough. And nothing easy again with the safety here. Tries to use the 9, knowing that the 8 could come to the rescue. I don't think it has. Although he hasn't left him on the shot here, I don't think he can cut this one in, jacked up over the 9, so it's another safety. But yeah, you can see Moritz feeling this one. He wants to get this one over right now. He's called the bank. What a shot. What a shot that is, and what a chance now. One more big shot away. This is a long one on the 3. And maybe having to jack up the back end of the cue a little bit makes it real tough. But if he can get it down, I love his chances. was always going to be tough. And you can see him scratching his head. He might know that's the last shot he's going to take in this match. It is double elimination, so he will get another chance tomorrow if Moritz runs out these balls. Still a lot of balls to make. Never easy under pressure, but you think he probably gets the job done here. Trying to keep the backhand dry there. I know that feeling. I'm a sweater. I like to sweat when I'm playing. Definitely the glove and the towel are two very necessary pieces of equipment for myself. Yeah, nothing much to do here. Maybe just the 8 to the 9. The last test. Not much of a test. Stop shot there, stop shot here. Alexa be feeling like he had a chance here. Long shot on the 3, certainly missable, but at his level, you favor him to get it. Never easy under pressure, though, on the TV table in round 1. Looks like Moritz considering staying short side on the 9 here. I kind of like that because you don't need to do much from the 9 to the 10, so no need to get crazy from the 8 to the 9. Love to be straight in. Not straight in the side. Does he consider rolling this one in the side? He might. I think I still like the corner from here, but the side is okay if he's sure. Tough though, and you can see that hesitation tells me he should shoot in the corner. Oh, it was no problem. And this 10 ball to close out this match, he's gonna give it a second. Tells me definitely nerves running high here. To move into round 2 of the winner's side. NEUHAUSEN. And it looks like he's going to get himself a day off tomorrow. Come back for winner's qualification on Thursday.